Hello and welcome to Investing Confidential. This is the week, folks. Inflation, inflation, inflation. Major issue, as we all know. Uh, what will the Fed do? Look, no one's listening. No one paid attention. We've been talking about inflation for quite some time, that it was not going to come down, that it's very sticky. Uh, I'm going to talk about why I believe stocks cannot go up. They're going to suffer, and why you're being fooled by Wall Street and everyone else. So let's start with let's start what's really in the news right now, and it's incredible how inflationary this news is, and no one seems to be paying attention. So you know. Wall Street and the White House want to take your focus off these strikes. Okay, no one wants, they're in the news, but they want to take your focus off of it. They're trying to do things. The bottom line is, this UAW strike is massive. Okay, it's gonna get bigger. Okay, they want 40% increase in overall compensation of wages, and you know what? They deserve it. Okay, they deserve it. I mean, and this is not the only situation. We had dock workers and others have been striking and settling, and now Biden's coming to try to settle it. He's not going to settle this. Okay. The auto companies, by the way, folks, the insider is, the auto companies want a strike. They want this strike to go on for a while. You know why? They can't sell cars. Used car prices are dropping like a stone. New cars, they're giving incentives out the wazoo. So guess what? They're going to let this strike go on. They need to get the inventories down. So it's going to happen. But see, this is going to backfire in their face, because more people are going to go on strike. Okay, more parts of the auto ecosystem are going to join in, because in the end they're going to have to pay. Okay, in the short term they don't want to pay because they got problems with demand. So hey, let them strike. We don't have to produce many cars anyway. Get rid of the inventory. That's the attitude. It's horrible. Okay. But this is happening all over the country, folks. In your local, you're seeing already. I don't know how many, but I can tell you there are hundreds of municipalities, maybe thousands, where sanitation workers, local, everyone's going on strike. Everybody. The pressure on wages is massive right now, across the board. Across the board, people want a living wage. Inflation is out of control. This administration is spending like drunken sailors, and they're shoving tons of money overseas for this ridiculous war. Okay, I'm saying it's ridiculous because now it's the point that someone needs to step up and just settle this thing out. Hundreds of thousands of people are dying, and we're sending all our money. We're printing money. Inflation is out of control, and we're sending it overseas, or we're spending it on political reasons. It's insanity. And here's what happens. Okay, we talked about this. Commodities. How is this going to affect? We have weak demand across the board. Everyone's. But look, okay. First, we have olive oil, 15-year high. Okay, folks, you can't make this up. Olive oil is ripping to the sky. Okay. Now I'm going to talk again about cattle. Cattle is now at record highs. That's meat. Everything follows. Poultry, pork, it's all going to follow higher. And then you've got iron ore. Despite China being on its ass, which it is economically, iron ore should be down big. No, it's going higher in dollars. And then finally, crude. Folks, crude is going to 100. Okay, gas, natural gas is going up, as you can see. So crude to 100, natural gas prices. And look, gasoline prices ripping higher, as we have talked about. No one watches my videos. That's okay. It doesn't matter. But the ones who do, I've been telling you about this, and it's happening. Okay, it's happening. What is the result? The result is higher rates for higher inflation. Look at the PPI now, breaking out, producer price index. Huge spike, huge breakout. And that means when the Fed meets this week, I will bet they raise 25. What else can they do? The CPI is out of control. Powell put himself into a problem, and he's continuing with this 2% goal, 2% target, and he ain't even close to 2%. And there's going to be no easing. Okay, forget about easing, and that's what the market wants to hear. So guess what's going to happen to the market? And rates are higher for longer. But this is a global phenomenon, folks. It's not just the U.S. Look at Europe. Europe is in much worse condition. The ECB deposit fertility rate, these are all-time highs. Europe has a huge inflation problem, and their rates have been long down since 2011, 10, 11. They've had rates now. So over 12 years, they've had almost zero rates. They're screwed, absolutely screwed. And they're behind us, right? And the Fed, there's no way they can ease. They can't be dovish. So don't fight the Fed, folks. Do not fight the Fed. But look what's happening. I talked about manipulation. Look at investor expectations for inflation. Who are these morons? Who are these people speaking to? Where they expect inflation coming. Nobody I know expects inflation to come down like this. Again, this data is manipulated by Wall Street and everyone else. And here's more bad news. Foreign partners, we talked about this. They're no longer buying our treasuries. China, we spoke about. Japan, they're slowing down. And now you got the Saudis. Not only are they not buying, they're selling off our treasuries. All of this, the China, Japan, Saudis, all of our partners, not buying treasuries. That puts higher pressure on rates, right? Prices go down, rates go up. Okay. And by the way, what does this mean? Look, stocks are in for trouble, folks. I told you a week ago, sell them out. Here's the kicker. Look at the VIX, the volatility index. We are now below pre-pandemic levels. Okay, if there was a time, if you want to buy options on the VIX, because we're about to get a major spike in volatility before the end of the year, most likely within the next 30 days. What does that mean when VIX is low? That means puts are cheap. Options should be cheap. Buy puts. Buy calls on the VIX. Stocks are going to have a major issue at some point soon. Okay, this is, again, everything is about the pre-pandemic levels. I still believe at some point these stock indexes are going to go back to the pre-pandemic levels. But that's a bigger call. Okay, what does it all mean? Look at IP. Let's talk about speculative. Look at these IPOs. I mean, IPOs, we had this ARM, Kava, excuse me. All these things are below what the opening trade was, okay? The first step is to break the opening trade, which they have. So any fool or investor who bought on the opening trade, they're losing money. They're losing money. And next is below the IPO price. Okay, another one coming out next today is Instacart. Watch this one. This was a disaster for VCs. They bought high, now they're selling low. This thing could break. This could be the one to watch, because if this one breaks, meaning breaks IPO price, then the whole thing's going to disintegrate. Okay, the whole market will disintegrate. But I don't think it's going to happen. You know why? Going back to what we talked about, manipulation, fake news. These IPOs are being manipulated with fake demand. What's fake demand? The brokers come out, they tell you a price, they do higher price, they get people all riled up, but they're only selling small amounts. They're not giving big allocations to people. And they don't give it to people who are going to sell. Okay, so forcing these opening trades to be higher than the IPO price. But as we've seen with almost every, they're all selling off. Who buys that opening price? Investors. They're not getting the IPO price, they're getting a higher price. More people get the opening price than they do the IPO price. So look at the IPO performance. It's terrible. Terrible. Maybe if you can get the IPO IPO price and flip it, that's one thing, but they're not going to give it to you. Morgan Stanley's going to give you, me, or anybody else? Nah, ain't going to happen. Stay away from these things. Stay away. And here's Morgan Stanley telling you that investment banking is going to rebound. This is laughable. Okay, these guys are dead man walking. Okay, their businesses are in trouble, but their businesses are in big trouble. So they just lie. Okay, they lie, but go to businesses. Look at this Business Roundtable. This is reliable information. These are businessmen, not Wall Street and White House political idiots. Okay, they're telling you recession is baked in. Baked in. And what confirms it today? Look at the housing number today. Sentiment has collapsed. Collapsed. The housing market is it's just beginning to collapse. It's going down slow. But sentiment has this. This is a really bad number, folks. Really bad number. If I had a house in New York and Miami where the price is still high, I'd be selling. If you were buying it for, to do it through Airbnb or whatever. By the way, Airbnb numbers are telling you it is bad. There's no demand for Airbnb. There's too many of them. It's too easy. Those prices are all collapsing. Look, it's inevitable. Stocks had a good run. It's over, folks. Absolutely over. Sell your house if you can, and you need to go somewhere else. Sell it. Sell it. Don't wait. Okay. So all bad news, unfortunately. No good news. Fed's coming out this week. There is not going to be any good news from the Fed. Too many people are trying to fight the Fed. So once again, investors, be very, very careful out there.